Okay, with screen time dominating our lives, it's been increasingly important to disconnect. And Apple has taken on a unique approach itself to try to manage our screen time, but there's something that's right under their noses that they need to implement. So, what's the solution, you may ask? And that is the revival of the iPod Classic. This product redefined how we listened to music back then, and it can redefine how we manage our screen time in the future. Like mentioned before, Apple has tried to assist us in managing screen time by having a screen time setting feature. That way we can look at our apps and how long we've been on and off and on and off and how much screen time overall that we have been using. But it's kind of convoluted because the thing is, we're looking at a screen to see how much screen time that we are using, and it's in settings, so that would add more to the screen time. So it's like kind of like, this is a feature, but I think this is something that should be in hardware rather than software. The iPod Classic is such a nostalgic part of Apple's history. With its timeless design, it's one of the most talked about Apple products that many tech enthusiasts talk about today. But making a singular focus shift to bring the iPod Classic back in 2025, especially in this generation with Gen Z, it's something that is truly, truly what we need. And it would be the perfect tech thing to start the 2025 tech revival of some of Apple's products. Here's why. First, collectors. Many people who were super serious about Apple back then loved to collect Apple products and have them as kind of their time capsule. And having a modernized iPod Classic in 2025, this is something that we could probably compare and contrast what it was back then versus what was now. Another huge contender is with parents. Parents nowadays are trying to manage how much screen time their children are using. And especially since they get it at school and when they get it at home, they're trying to have a more kind of quote unquote work-life balance when it comes to having on-screen time versus off-screen time. Research has shown that with excessive screen time in children, it has negative impacts in health, sleep, and attention span. And so with those factors in mind, and also the internet, parents want to make sure that they have their children's safe best interests at heart and to make sure that they can grow up to their full potential. The iPod Classic could be something as a middle ground feature for children to have fun and be able to listen to their favorite music, educational podcasts, and educational audiobooks, but it's something that parents can feel safe about with not having access to internet and being able to control how much usage they have by using a device, and without exposing them to social media and other platforms that are in the App Store. And it's not just the children, it can also benefit people from a young to old age. Limiting our screen time to have something that is audio focused can help us not be so dependent on our phones to listen to music to, not be so dependent on our phones for the other audio-centric things that we have on there. Because of the distractions that are already on our cell phones with social media and internet and mail and all this other stuff, sometimes we want to be productive, but stepping away from our phone is hard because we have said audio-focused things on our phones. So the overall benefit is that we don't get overstimulated with our visual media, our audio media, and we can build healthier developmental habits. Even for me personally, I've wanted an iPod so bad. I mean, part of it because I'm super into Apple, but another part of it is I see how it could benefit my life. That way, when I'm trying to do chores or wanting to go do something and not be dependent on my phone, sure, I can rely on my watch for some of those audio-centric things, but it's been kind of, not of the greatest experience just because before of the software update where we can listen to music from our watch, we would always have to connect our AirPods to our watch, and then we had to, make sure it played directly from the music app from our watch sometimes, because sometimes it wants to depend on the iPhone's music app. And so it's the Apple Watch that's so dependent on the iPhone where it makes it hard to try to have it as its standalone device. So the iPod Classic can really make up for that. So how would I suggest a modernized iPod Classic to be made in 2025? First, I would make it kind of smaller than the iPhone SE. Still have a touch screen on top so you can still choose the different apps you want to use. but still keep the tactile features of the scroll wheel and then the skip button, the play button, you know, those type of things. You don't really need to drive away too far from the iPod 7th generation design. I think that would be the most basic area of where you can start. But they would probably make like a flat edge design, and then for the storage options, you can do 128, 256, 512. I don't think you would need a terabyte of storage on an iPod, but who knows? And this could be a physical way of how Apple can have a product that they can promote health and wellness, because you're, you know, taking less screen time, and you can have another option of how you engage in music and audio centric apps. And of course, give it, you know, GPS and cellular connectivity, and then also, you know, USB-C for charging. And then the base price, I would say $299. I don't think that would be a bad price. I mean, even if they want $199, that would be even crazy. And then add a chip that can handle Apple Intelligence, because why not, just to throw that in there? So so overall, the lesson in this video, the lesson about the iPod Classic, this is something that Apple can really, really work with our generation regarding trying to maintain the quote unquote work-life balance of screen time. And so being able to just have a physical device is something that is much easier than trying to do it through software. And this will prove an overall theme of how innovation works, because there are many people who believe that Apple doesn't innovate, but Apple innovates all the time. It's just the perspective of how you look at innovation. But something like this, to have a kind of a revival era for Apple to bring back products that they canceled or decided to die off, you know, this would be something that would be truly amazing to see what they could do in 2025. So comment below if you think you would buy an iPod Classic and how it would benefit your life. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Elijah Plus today. This is Lessons in Technology, and I'll see you in another video.